Isfahan, 1666. The city sleeps beneath a canopy of cold stars, its grand minarets silver-tipped by a bone-white moon. In a lamplit chamber of the Ali Qapu, Kamāl al-Dīn bends over his tar, fingers tracing the gut strings with the tenderness of a man addressing a lover. The scent of rosewater and burning cedar fills the room. He is composing, ostensibly, a ghazal, a lament for an unnamed beloved. But the intervals between his phrases, the precise rests, the ascending runs that climb and fall like mountain passes, these are not poetry. They are geography. They are troop counts. They are the whispered anxieties of an empire measured in plucked strings. For 7 years, his music has carried secrets no courier could safely bear. Tonight, he does not know that somewhere in the bazaar, another ear has begun to listen. Isfahan, autumn, 1666. In the hall of mirrors beneath the Ali Qapu's painted ceilings, candlelight splinters into 1,000 trembling fragments. Kamāl al-Dīn kneels before the Shahanshah, his tar cradled like a living thing, its gut strings warm beneath practiced fingers. The composition rises, a cascade of Persian daska, honey-dark and intricate, winding through the scented air of rosewater and burning out. Shah Abbas II leans forward, eyes half closed in pleasure, his jeweled turban catching the flame. But in the third row, a man in indigo silk sits perfectly still. His lips move almost imperceptibly, counting. Each deliberate pause between phrases, each suspended breath in the melody, falls upon him like chapters of scripture. The message is received. What neither man yet knows is that somewhere behind them, another pair of ears is listening with equal precision. In the amber lamplight of the Ali Qapu's music hall, where incense still hangs heavy with oud and sandalwood, the applause has barely faded when Farhad approaches. He is young, dangerously young, with the calculating eyes of a man who has spent years listening to what others do not hear. His bow is courtly, his smile measured. He gestures toward Kamāl's tar with a reverence that carries within it something sharper than admiration. Kamāl reads it instantly. A musician knows the difference between appreciation and examination. The silk of Farhad's robe whispers against the marble floor as he leans close, fingers tracing the air as though still following the melody's peculiar cadence. 2 men stand in perfect, poisonous courtesy, one holding a secret, one already pulling at its thread. What Farhad does with his suspicion in the coming hours will determine whether Kamāl sees another dawn. The great bazaar of Isfahan breathes with 10,000 lives. Saffron and rosewater, the hammer of the coppersmith, the whispered prayers of men who buy nothing and sell everything. Kamāl moves through this labyrinth with the practiced ease of a man who belongs everywhere and nowhere. He stops at a carpet merchant's stall, a man whose fingers have never once haggled. A folded paper changes hands beneath a bolt of indigo silk, swift as a breath. Kamāl reads without reading, his face a mask of perfect calm, even as the words burn. The Ottomans know. Not the names, not the method, but they know music carries the empire's secrets. Somewhere in the gilded halls he has just left, someone is already listening to his compositions with entirely different ears. 3 nights. 3 nights of guttering oil lamps and ink-stained fingers, of reed paper covered in notations no music conservatory has ever taught. Farhad spreads his final diagram across the cold marble floor of his chamber near the Ali Qapu, smoothing its edges with trembling hands. The pattern is undeniable now. Intervals mapped against the Shah's own diplomatic calendar, ascending thirds marking troop movements, sustained silences signaling the passage of gold. The smell of lamp oil hangs heavy in the airless room. Farhad sits back, exhales slowly, and for a long moment simply stares at what he has built. Not a discovery, a demolition. Somewhere beneath the great mosque, Kamāl al-Dīn sleeps unaware that the language he has spent a lifetime constructing has, in 3 stolen nights, been utterly and irrevocably read. Beneath the great mosque, where the scent of sandalwood and damp stone mingles in the dark, 2 men face each other by candlelight. Farhad's eyes carry the cold arithmetic of ambition. Kamāl stands perfectly still, the way a man stands when the ground beneath him has already given way. The ultimatum is precise, surgical: position and credit by tomorrow's evening performance, or the vizier learns everything. Kamāl's hands, those extraordinary hands that have served Shah and empire alike through the invisible language of music, curl slowly at his sides. He has spent 15 years building something invisible and perfect. Now another man holds it in his fist like a sparrow's throat. He has until sundown. And sundown, in Isfahan, in the winter of 1666, comes very fast indeed. In the amber half-light of a Isfahan afternoon, Kamāl al-Dīn bends over his tar, fingers tracing strings worn smooth by 10,000 secrets. The air smells of rosewater and cedar smoke. He composes slowly, deliberately, each phrase a calculated act of war. The first melody unravels like a warning carried on wind. The network is broken, scatter like starlings. But woven beneath, subtle as a shadow within a shadow, lies the second truth, a rhythmic accusation, coiled in repetition and silence, designed for one reader alone. Farhad's betrayal, encoded in the very language he sought to steal. It is perhaps the most beautiful thing Kamāl has ever created. It may also be his last. As the final note dissolves into the cooling evening air, he sets down the instrument and reaches for his court robes. Tomorrow, he performs before the Shah. The lanterns of the Ali Qapu blaze like captive suns. Silk-robed courtiers lean forward, breath held, as Kamāl al-Dīn draws his plectrum across the tar's strings for the final time. The melody rises. Intricate, devastating, a river of sound that carries within its currents something far more lethal than beauty. Rosewater incense drifts through cedar-scented air. Across the gilded chamber, Farhad stands motionless, his face a manuscript being rewritten in real time. Certainty dissolving into bewilderment, bewilderment curdling into dread. He had expected to find the cipher. Instead, he has found the cage Kamāl built around him, note by careful note, over 7 long months. The composition does not end so much as it arrives. At a destination only one man in the room fully understands. Outside, in the darkened bazaar, the Ottoman messengers are already walking into a trap they cannot yet see. The vizier's men move through the Ali Qapu like shadows given purpose, their boots striking the inlaid tilework in measured, inevitable rhythm. Farhad does not struggle. He stands among the scattered petals of a feast not yet cleared, his musician's hands folded before him, the incriminating notes still humming somewhere in the perfumed air. Kamāl watches from behind a carved lattice screen, cedar and shadow pressing against his face, his tar case clutched against his chest like a wound he cannot show. The torches along the corridor throw gold against the mosaic walls. Beauty, indifferent, and absolute. Whether Farhad is guilty is a question the court will never honestly ask. Tonight, a man is taken. Tonight, The cipher has claimed its first soul, and somewhere in Isfahan, Kamāl knows with terrible certainty it will not claim its last. Months have passed. The court of Shah Abbas II turns on its gilded axis. Ambassadors come and go, silk and suspicion, moving in equal measure through the halls of the Ali Qapu. And still Kamāl al-Dīn plays. Tonight, beneath oil lamps that throw amber shadows across lacquered columns, his fingers find a melody of startling simplicity. No cipher coils within its phrases. No hidden architecture of betrayal or salvation. For the first time in years, the music means only itself. Those who listen hear beauty. They cannot see what it has cost him. The names he carries, the silences he has learned to inhabit, the weight of an empire folded into memory. His expression is still. His eyes, older. The nightingale sings on. But somewhere, in a distant court, other ears have already begun to listen.